Hello, teachers and the internship office. Today, I'm going to talk about my internship learning objectives and my personal development during this 4-month internship. This right here is the W Hotel and Residence based in Doha, Qatar. It is located in the center of the city and it is known to be one of the most unique and extravagant W's in the world. And I was lucky enough to be part of this. The hotel has 3 amazing restaurants, 2 by Jean George and 1 by Paper Moon. It has one of the most iconic clubs in the Middle East, Crystal, and a bar by the pool called Waham. The number 1 spa in Doha, Bliss. And now, let me tell you about my experience in this amazing hotel.
So my first learning objective was to make a mark in the hotel, impress the managers, and learn as much as I can about the hotel brand. The way I proved to the hotel that I was interested in the hotel brand was, if you know, W has its own standards and its own way of doing things. That's what intrigued me to the hotel in the first place. One of the things that they have that are not common in other hotels is that they have the W lingo, which is their own words of saying other stuff. For example, calling a pool wet, the wet deck, or calling a coworker a talent. Talent meaning everyone has their own talents and everyone shows and shines. So my second learning objective was to work in as many departments as I can as possible. I applied for rooms division in particular front office, but I got the chance to work in housekeeping. Also, I got the chance to work in whatever, whenever, which is the call service center, and concierge, also the bellboy, also known as the ambassadors in the W. And the last station that I stopped by was front office, which is also known as the welcome desk in the W. Even though I didn't get to do everything that I wanted, I got to do everything in the rooms. That taught me a lot. My third learning objective was I wanted to learn as much as possible and learn about the industry from the perspective of managers. In fact, in this learning objective, I noticed that I didn't learn much from the managers, but in fact I learned a lot more from the regular staff, who I was actually interacting with. An example of that was when I worked in housekeeping, also known as style from the W. A lot of the staff were from Kenya and Philippines, and they were actually working here because they were running away from their homes because of all the bad things that are happening back home. I realized that not everyone loves what they do, but a lot of people do it because they are forced to and because they cannot do anything else. The fact that I am so blessed to work with such amazing people who find the better in everything and who work from all their heart proved to me that you don't have to be in high positions to make an impact, but it's just the small things that you do. And the quote that I base my life on is, if you do what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. And I saw that through the eyes of the staff in the W. So my last learning objective was I wanted to learn how to communicate under pressure with a certain time frame. The way I did that was when I was working in front office, we had a guest, and this is where I learned the most and I realized how I would work properly in that situation under pressure. The guest was from the royal family in Qatar, and my manager thought it was a good idea for me to communicate with her because I had the most in common with her because I am a Qatari. She believed that she did not need an ID, and it is under the rules and regulations of Doha and all hotels to have an idea of every single guest that stays in the hotel. So this guest believed that because she came from the royal family that she didn't need one and that it was okay for her to stay in the hotel, and we could not give her the ID. She started screaming at me, yelling at me, and cursing me because she could not curse anyone else because no one was in front of her except for me. The way I reacted to this was I stayed calm and I told her to find a way to get the IDs of her and her maids, and so that we could scan them and give her the rooms. She fought back and she took all her stuff and placed them outside in the hallway, waiting for her other key to put her stuff in the other room. She also cursed and she fought for a very long time. After hours of me trying to convince the team to give her key to avoid more problems, she found a way to get the ideas, gave them to the hotel, and we put them under the system. Also, she kept screaming at everyone, but at the end of the day, when everything was solved and everything was over, she turned around, looked at me and laughed, apologized for screaming at me, and gave me a hug, which was very uncommon. Like, I was shocked. She gave me a hug and went on with her day. And I realized that a lot of people act the way they do because maybe their days wasn't going as planned. And the way you should act towards it is to stay calm and be positive and try to find a way to solve the problem without making it a bigger deal. So, to say the least, my 4 learning objectives was merely what I learned in the W. I learned much more than you can ever imagine. And the W was the best choice for me. I believe that being unique in their standards and the way they acted towards people, and also the fact that the hotel was a business hotel and all the guests were regulars, made us a huge family, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
As for my SWOT analysis, I realized that my strengths were that I loved communicating with guests, and I hope to do this more in the future and evolve myself in that way. Also, another thing was that I grew more as a person when I was given more opportunities to work and given more responsibilities. My managers were impressed by me because they realized that I can take control of the surrounding I'm in and I can learn as much as I can from it. While my weaknesses were that I would sometimes get carried away. Sometimes I wouldn't know what to do and try to solve it myself, and it would usually end up in a bad way. An example of that was once I tried to check out a guest by myself, and I by accident made the guest pay twice. Kind of had a little problem, but it's okay, it's all good. I asked my manager to fix it for me, and I ran away and tried to avoid the guest as much as possible. But at the end of the day, I went to her and I apologized for what happened. Now, for opportunities, I believe that I have the best mentor in the school, Mr. Saltz. Yes, he's super cool. Very, very cool. Whenever I needed advice, I would go to him and ask him for it. He always knows what to say, how to act. He always thinks of the positive side of everything, and he always has a solution for the problems that I encounter. Yes, I repeat, he is amazing. Last but not least, we have threats. Well, my biggest threat was the fact that I was a Qatari lady working in Qatar. People took me for granted and didn't believe I was capable of working. That made me have to work 3 times as hard as any other person in the hotel. But once they realized that I was a hardworking person, yay me! I got full control and take the opportunity that was given to me. Okay, bye!